Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. This is the show where we discuss how to find, figure, fund, fix, and flip a foreclosure deal. If you're a big watcher of the show, you know that I'm not in my usual spot, my condo downtown. No siree, we are out in Mexico. Check this out. So you get my flex on here. Beautiful water, lake view, ocean view. Enjoying a little time, a little R&R away from all the action, but still not too disconnected from the deal hunting process that makes the whole system work. So you're going to hear some birds and some stuff in the background. Enjoy. So wanted to go over, like you said, we talked about finding, figuring, funding, fixing, and flipping a deal, and the importance of being local to doing so. And a lot of people are now talking about virtual flipping, virtual wholesaling has become very popular throughout the country. You have to forgive me, guys. I'm also a little bit under the weather, so my voice is not exactly cooperating today. So bear with me, if you will, if my voice cuts out. But yeah, it's a big thing now where people are doing deals all across the country. How is it possible to do a foreclosure flip deal without being in the same city, town, area that the deal is done? Well, right out of the gate, I will tell you, we've been doing this for years. One of the first real tests of the foreclosure flipping system was one of my clients, Steve. And Steve, right after he signed up for coaching, was deployed as a military service member, and he was deployed to Poland for a tour, like a 9-month tour, give or take. And while he was away, we found the deal for him. We analyzed the deal, obviously funded the deal in his absence, got it fixed, and sold the property, all without him ever stepping foot inside of it. How do we make that work? Well, the process now is so dialed in that it doesn't really matter where you're located physically. Finding deals can happen anywhere in the country as long as you know where to look, right? A lot of the deals we purchase are HUD foreclosures. We buy some REO properties, lots of areas where we're locating deals. Depending on your domicile, where you're at, there are deals in your backyard, but obviously there are deals all across the country depending on where you want to be operating. Now, for my clients, we generally want to start in the Colorado Springs, Colorado market because I know that market very well. And as a result of my local market knowledge, access to the trades, and et cetera, it is generally my preference to begin our first deal in the local Colorado or even Pueblo marketplace. So because a lot of my clients are distanced, as an example, we just signed up Sam. Sam, I hope you're watching today. Welcome aboard. Sam's been with us for about a week. She's based in Jersey. And in about a week, we went under contract on a smoking hot deal in the Pueblo, Colorado market on Wyoming. Now, I'm going to show you more details about that deal here in just a second. But a lot of it comes down to, can you trust the process enough to do a foreclosure flip deal from a distance? What don't we know about the property that we would only know at a distance? And here's the best example I can give you of that. I'm a car nut, right? And one of my favorite vehicles that I ever owned, I'm going to bring it up because I love this car, was a 2006 Dodge Viper in the commemorative edition, white with blue stripes. This thing was a beaut. And I loved this car, but when I was looking for the car, it was a big thing that I didn't know much about the vehicle. Obviously, it's, on the other side of the country. In this case, we were buying the property or the car in California, and I was located in Colorado, right? So really not sure about the vehicle. So how do you make an investment decision? And my dad, he's pretty old school, right? He's like, how are you going to buy a car you've never seen from a distance? That's a pretty big investment at a distance. And you're not wrong. But here's the thing about real estate investing. And I finally found a picture of the car. I'm gonna bring it up here. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Present. Share. Here we go. All right, here we are. So here it is. Mine was convertible, but white with blue stripes. Loved the vehicle. Located the vehicle in San Diego. We flew out to San Diego, picked up the car, and drove it back. When I say we, me and Laura. And I wish I'd gotten more time behind the wheel of the car. Turns out Laura not only is really good at driving a manual transmission, she's also big on not sharing. That was something we learned the hard way on that trip back. But we had an incredible time driving the vehicle back. from there. But prior to purchasing the vehicle, I didn't just buy the car sight unseen, show up, hand the guy a check, and drive off. No, I had it inspected by a Dodge dealership. So the car was brought to the Dodge dealership. They looked at the vehicle and verified that there were no major mechanical conditions wrong with the vehicle. I believe that because I was less emotionally attached to that car purchase, I actually got a better deal on the car because I wasn't local. You know how it is when you're going to look at a vehicle or something you're really interested in buying, and who wouldn't love to buy a Dodge Viper, right? This was a car I've wanted since I was a kid. So I'm super excited about buying this vehicle. And so suddenly I'm out there, I'm looking at the car, but it's already been checked out. It's already been properly inspected, right? I know that what I'm buying is a good deal based on the numbers that I've ran, and I'm not buying it based on emotion, but rather fact. That is a big thing about the real estate investing market today. We have to remove the emotion that comes from real estate investing if you are to be successful at doing so, particularly at a distance. Now, does that mean it's not a little bit scary? Well, I'm sure Samantha can tell you right now, first purchase with us, a lot of money out of pocket when you're first getting started. First, you got to invest in coaching. Then you got to write this big check to secure the property. It's nerve-wracking. I'm not going to kid you. But are we doing this sight unseen? Absolutely not. We purchased the property based on inspecting the home, making sure there's no major issues. We know there's some cosmetic issues. We wouldn't be buying it this cheap if that weren't the case, but we know there's no major foundation or structural issues on the property, so we're buying it by the numbers. We're going to talk about the numbers here in just a little bit, but the point is, if you're looking to get into real estate investing, particularly now, and if you're going to do a foreclosure flip, and foreclosures are happening all across the country, you're going to have to get over that emotional need to experience the property firsthand and really treat this like what it is, which is an investment vehicle. Nothing more and nothing less. When you're buying a home for you and your family to put your kids in and your wife in and your husband in, obviously there's a ton of emotional response that comes from that, right? Your kids are going to grow up there. You got schools nearby are going to be important. The neighborhood's important. And I'm not saying those things aren't kind of important in real estate investing, but if you can separate yourself from that and look at this purely as a numbers game, you're at a far higher probability of being successful than you are by trying to focus on the emotional attachment to real estate, okay? Much like I was emotionally attached to the Dodge Viper, I wanted the car, but I wasn't attached to it so much that I was going to make an executive decision after driving the car, falling in love with it, and then ignoring some of the obvious problems with that vehicle because I wanted it so bad, right? And I wanted a very specific vehicle. This was a white commemorative edition Viper with blue stripes. They made exactly 100 of these. I had number 16 of 100. So if I had been emotionally involved, I could have overpaid for it. I could have ignored some mechanical conditions, and it certainly could have been a much bigger problem than by doing it at a distance. Let's wrap this all back around before we discuss this deal that we're working on with Samantha right now, okay? What I want to help you to do as a real estate investor is to take your mindset away from the emotional attachment to doing it and understand that we bring in professionals to inspect it. Okay, we have somebody who's not emotionally involved with it. You're doing an analysis based on the numbers. So you can look at comps through Deal Check. There are multiple sources where you can now evaluate what's selling around it, okay, including the MLS. But if you don't have MLS access, you've got Deal Check, you've got Privy as an option. PropStream can help you to run analysis in the neighborhood, et cetera, et cetera. By taking yourself out of the emotions of it, you're buying on the numbers. And in doing so, you have a much higher probability of being successful in real estate investing. Easy for me to say, right? I've done hundreds of transactions, most of which were my local market, most of which I saw in person. But over time, I developed the ability, and now I'm teaching the ability for investors to purely trade on the numbers. So no matter where you're located in the world, you can buy, remodel, and sell a property at a profit no matter your location today, okay? And that wasn't always the case. While you're working on the process, we find the house, right? We analyze the house, we got the numbers. The next step is we got to fund it. Well, the lenders obviously don't care where you're located, right? The hard money brokers really are only interested in if you qualify. And even that is only qualifying based on your company setup, not based on your credit, to a degree. Now, you can't have really bad credit. You can't come in with a 500 FICO. But if you got a moderate FICO score, right, you're running in the mid sixes, you're good because the lenders are lending the money based on the quality of the asset. They truly are detached from the location, right? They really only care if the numbers make sense. So if the numbers make sense, they're going to fund that deal for you happily. Why? Because they like you? No, because the interest rates on these loans wander between 10 and 13%. So obviously, with that high of an interest rate, they're making a lot of money on moving the money. So they really want the money to be deployed. If the deal makes sense and you're putting the right amount of money down, generally between 10 and 15% down, you are going to get approved for a loan almost regardless of your credit situation. Again, we can't completely throw that out, but funding it nationally is definitely not a big deal. To localize you a little bit, we do create an LLC in the Colorado state market, right? So your LLC will be based here, but corporations are owned by other people in states all over the country all the time. So it's not abnormal to have a company that's owned, it's based in Colorado, but owned by somebody in Jersey, as is the case with Samantha right now. Okay, so location doesn't matter for funding. Let's go to fixing, because fixing is where it does get a little bit tricky to deal with location. How do you manage a construction crew from a distance? Well, you don't. The key there is to bring in professional project management. A local project manager works in this market, has crews in this market, and is going to babysit those crews. Let's face it, even the best crews need to be watched from time to time for both staying on budget, staying on task, right, and maintaining quality. So you hire a project manager who's based in the local market. Now, through the power of sites like Upwork and even Indeed, you can easily hire a contract project manager anywhere in the country who's got experience in construction. Specifically, you're looking for remodeling experience, right? Because that's what we're trying to do here. And the pay model, right now, we're offering 12% of the total rehab bid to the project manager. Okay, so that 12% covers the cost of managing the trades to make sure that the end job that you're getting is going to look like it's supposed to, so it will sell quickly and at the highest price possible. All of which so far has been done without you physically being here. Now, if you are physically here, obviously you can manage the product yourself. That would reduce some of your costs, but ask yourself something. Did you get into real estate investing to learn how to swing a hammer? Right? And the answer is probably not. Most people got into investing to make money. So to really grow this business, you got to separate yourself from the flipping shows that you've seen on A&E's Flip This House and understand that as an investment vehicle, this is one of the most cost-effective, easiest ways to make money if you understand the process of buying low and selling high, and doing so on a national scale can really move the needle and make you a lot of money doing it, right? We're focused in Colorado Springs because that's where your coach is. That's where I know all the deals. I know the neighborhoods, the markets, so we don't have to do as much market research. There are deals everywhere, though. Right now, we're just focused on this market. We're expanding into other markets as we speak. We're looking at Phoenix. We're looking at Vegas. We're going to have some options for clients all over the country here pretty shortly, but we're really dialing in the process of doing this remotely with the clients while I'm close by and can manage it. But even right now, I'm not close by. Right now, I'm sitting on a beach in Mexico, right? And I'm still getting flips done. I know that the project management's getting done effectively. I know that the quality is staying on task. And I know that when I get back, those properties will be just as functionally along the way as if I had been right in my backyard getting this work done. Okay. So the point of all of this is for the steps. We found the deal local. We found the deal remotely. We analyzed the deal. We funded the deal. We're fixing the deal and now flipping the deal. Well, this is where the quality of a great agent on your team is super useful. However, agents can be a little expensive, right? So if you've not negotiated a great deal with your agent, like we have with my secret agent on the team, then anywhere you go, the agent's going to take a large chunk of your expenses out of you. And, the problem with discount agents is a lot of times you get discount service. And that discount service can translate into staying on the market too long and not selling for as much as it could sell for. We don't want either of those things. So we really make sure to bring in an agent who understands that though they're working for a flat rate, they're going to build volume by selling a lot of properties. And our team agents have been trained to get the lower fee, but understand that if the clients are making money, they're going to do a lot more deals. So even though it's a lower fee, it's going to add up to a lot more financial volume for the agent because we can bring that volume. Think about it. Most homeowners are going to sell one house every 3 to 7 years, maybe, and that's pushing it, right? This situation, we've got clients who are going to do 4 houses per year times 50 clients I'm aspiring to get here in this 2024 market. So 50 clients at 4 deals a year is 200 deals. That's a pretty good takeaway income for the agent, even at a discounted rate. So they're happy to do it because we provide so much volume to them. You obviously couldn't do that much volume on your own. So the benefit of joining the coaching program is we are working together as a group so we can get volume discounts on everything. And as such, everything costs less, is generally more efficient, and is going to end up being more money in your pocket, regardless of where you happen to be located. Okay. With all that, I promised you I'd show you a deal today. Let's talk about this property on 2532 Wyoming. We're under contract to buy this bad boy right now. First, I'm going to bring up the house itself. It is in Pueblo. We are doing a lot in Pueblo lately. Why? Well, because it's cheap. You know, we're finding better deals in the Pueblo market than we've seen in quite some time because, you know, a lot of people in the Colorado Springs market are being priced out of the market and being forced to look for less expensive homes just to the south. I'll be frank with you. Nobody likes Pueblo. If you're from Pueblo, please don't take offense, okay? Pueblo's not exactly a dream destination for very many people, but when it comes down to affordable houses, Pueblo's a great place to find an affordable house. So let's bring up the property on Wyoming. Here we are. Now, the Trulia estimate, which is not worth the paper it's printed on, but it does say 180. We actually picked this up for 130. And the pictures actually are a pretty accurate depiction of what this looks like today. I mean, a little bit of, you know, it needs some work, but it ain't trashed by any means. You know, some updating is going to go a long way. I will say, what did change, the kitchen's a little bit more of a mess. The cabinets are still there, but they moved some stuff around. So we're going to rework the kitchen, but we are going to salvage those cabinets, which is going to save quite a bit for my client on the deal, right? So a little bit of flooring, a little bit of paint, right? We're budgeting for about $30,000 to $35,000 going into it. Again, paid $130 for it. 30, let's go 35. Let's round it up to 40, just because I want to give worst case scenario. That gets us to 170. And now retail on this property, one right up the street, and I mean, you can walk to it, same street, sold for $220. But we're going conservative on that. We believe we're going to sell this for about $215 on the back end, okay? Leaving a gross profit about $45,000 should net pretty close to the magic 25 that we're going for on this deal, with very low fuss, very low muss on the deal. Okay, that's the reality of the Foreclosure Deals Coach program. Whereas a lot of people, a lot of gurus out there are teaching you how to find deals and go through the funding process and all of that. With my program, we find the deals for you. Okay, it's because we want to make sure that you're doing a high volume of deals. The target, again, is 4 deals per year. So if you're hitting 4 deals per year, then if all the clients are doing that, then 200 deals being run through the system. Again, we get volume discounts on everything. I own a flooring store, so you're going to get the flooring much cheaper. We get benefits on the title, benefits on the agent fees, benefits on all the systems, because we're buying so many houses in volume that we're going to get a lower discount on everything. And as a result, more net profit to my clients on the back end. So this should be a relatively easy 25K profit with an outlay somewhere between 40 and 50 grand up front. Going to end up netting another, you know, on top of the 25K, on top of getting that money back, providing a profitable back end deal for the client, and obviously setting a relationship to do a lot more of these. So that's the Wyoming deal. If you guys, I see that a couple people are still watching as we wrap up here for the day. And I'm sorry, once again, my voice is shot. I'm going to get back into the ocean air here. Hey, why don't we take you guys outside? I was worried my battery was going to die. Let's go outside for a bit. See what I'm looking at today. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? Is that not beautiful? We're hanging out just for about a week here. You know, got a great deal on the room. Things are slower in Mexico right now. Got a few more minutes before we wrap up, so I'm going to just wrap. I'm going to hang out here for a few more minutes. If you guys have any questions, hop on right now. Let me know what your questions are about doing your first foreclosure flip deal. But guys, I don't want to tell you there's no risk to this. What I do want to tell you is if you're committed to learning the process of foreclosure investing, a lot of foreclosures are about to hit the market right now. Okay. So if you believe that you've got the 3 things you need to be a successful coaching client, number 1, you must be willing to do a deal in the Colorado market. Okay. We're right now focused Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado Springs, and Pueblo, but anywhere in the state of Colorado, we got a lot more deals in that market because my deal flow is solid there. Second thing you need is that you must be liquid. We need the liquidity to about $50,000. Doesn't have to be all cash. You can use equity, a HELOC. Your IRA is fine, right? A couple of places you can locate those funds, but you must be liquid. I know a lot of guys are out there preaching no money down real estate, and I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it's rare, okay? So that's 2 things. You got to be liquid. You got to be willing to invest in Colorado. Number 3 is you must be coachable. And coachable is where it gets really difficult. There's a lot of trust built here. Obviously, the trust is aligned with contracts. So it's not about it just sending money to some random guy you just met in a Zoom call, okay? But you're going to see contracts. You're going to see a lot of documentation. But in the end, coachable means that I've got a vested interest in making sure that you're successful in doing a deal. Because if you're doing deals, you'll do more deals. If you're doing more deals, the system grows. I make a little bit on every deal that I push through the system. My team is compensated for doing deals. So everybody's got a vested interest in you doing profitable deals, because the more profitable deals that you do, the more money you make and the more money the system makes, okay? So it really is all about setting a process in motion that no matter where you are, whether it's on the beach in Mexico or, in your condo in Indiana, wherever you happen to be, you can do this. You can do deals. Step 1 is just got to reach out, set up a free foreclosure coaching call. We'll go over the process, talk about how it all works, and see if it's the right fit for you. If it's not, no big deal. We'll part as friends. Okay. Last few minutes of the show here, guys. We're going to wrap up. If you guys have any questions, please hop on. Let me know. I'm looking at the comments now. Nothing yet. And I apologize, my voice is crap. You think all this air would help clean up my lungs, but it's just not, man. I came out sick, and I'm just getting more and more sick, but I'm hoping a few more days of rest and relaxation will catch that up. Questions, concerns, anything left, guys? All right, listen, I'm going to take a few days off, as you can tell, but if you have questions, slide into my DMs, reach out and message me. Click the link to schedule a time to set up your foreclosure coaching call. We spend about 45 minutes on the phone. I go over the program in copious detail and see if it's the right fit for you. If you like it, we'd love to have you in the program. If it's not the right fit, this isn't for everybody. You definitely have to be prepared to make some quick moves in this market, because the best deals do not last long. With that, this is Donny Coram, your foreclosure deals coach. Thank you for tuning in each and every single week to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast, and reminding you, don't buy a house, buy a deal.